back, baby, for the RazCast. Dude, it's been forever. It's been so long. Hello. Are you there?
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
I was like, hello? Dude, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Appreciate you. It's been a long time since we've done a RazCast. And a lot has changed, I feel.
Sure. I don't even remember the last time we did one of these. Like, what were we
Well,
talking about?
I suppose a lot has changed is a loose term because in reality, I think nothing has changed except Mortain since the last time we've done one of these. I can't remember the last one we did, but I remember the last one we were like, we're gonna do these more.
Yeah,
And
that was a
then
lie.
and then we're back. Excessive, I'll check it here in a second. Thank you so much. So if you're brand new to the channel or you haven't seen a RazCast before, welcome in. The RazCast is a occasional podcast that we do. The problem is
Yeah, I don't know.
we've just been so busy, I think. But typically it's a weekly podcast. It hasn't been a weekly podcast in forever. But we talk about gaming. We talk about primarily Hella Loose, our opinions. We get roasted all the time. So feel free to go ahead and just give us your thoughts. I will have the chat here as well for you right at the front so you guys can all talk about what your thoughts are. But today we want to focus on the state of the union of Hella Loose, where we're at, why we're here, and what are the next steps.
Why are we here, Raz? I ask myself that every day.
Why are we here to suffer, Fresh? I don't know. So if you don't know, my name is Raz Bora. I played Hella Loose for years now. I think I just hit 3,090 hours, just absolute sweat lord. And we have Fresh here.
Hello.
Beside.
Yes, I'm here doing another one of these. We figured it was a good time to get back into the podcasting world with someone's got to talk about Hella Loose since Hella Loose isn't talking about Hella Loose, I guess.
Yeah, and I guess that's kind of where we get started. So I will say a lot of people have been reaching out to me, and I'm sure Fresh the same with you, asking us to do a developer interview.
Yeah, I'm kind of against that right now because it'd be like not much has changed since we did the last one, so it'd be the same questions over again, probably the same answers. Like, there's no point in doing a developer interview until they have shit to say. Unfortunately, in my opinion.
I think I've been the same. Like, I mean, I'm always open to it personally. Like, I'm always happy to go ahead and have the devs on. I mean, I talk to the devs typically pretty regularly, but I mean, I would say the last 3 to 4 months at least, everything's kind of gone away, and like there's been almost no like excommunicado, no communication at all. To Fresh's point, like nothing has changed at all. So
yeah, and Raz and I do have, we're a little privileged with the fact that we're part of the war correspondent program. We do have some relationships with people there, but even those channels are dried up for the most part, and we hardly know more than what everyone else knows at this point, and there's just not much to talk about. So we're gonna sit here and we're gonna fucking speculate wildly and assume because that's all we can do.
yeah, and I would say at this point in time, I don't think there is anything that we know outside of what everyone knows, because literally
I
like
can't think of
everything's
anything, though.
yeah, everything's caught up. So we're pretty much in the know with everyone else. We have no idea about anything, literally. So I suppose that kind of goes back to like, I mean, where we're at. So what has changed with Hella Loose recently? I mean, aside from
Not much.
Mortain, I think Mortain was an okay map addition. I don't personally like it. It's just not my style of map. I think it was a interesting setting. I think it was an interesting change of pace.
It's
Yeah.
fine. It's just not, at this late in the game, like been playing this game for over 4 years now. We need something better rather than just more. And I think that is the greatest complaint about Hell Let Loose is even the stuff they're putting out doesn't better the game in any way. It's just skirmish maps, just night maps, even Mortain for the most part. It's just additional stuff, but nothing that really betters the game. Nothing that's going to be like convince people to keep playing it or convince people that have fallen off to get back into it. there really hasn't been a game changer for them in a while. Um, I think that's the biggest disappointment of it all is there's nothing, no news that that's going to be something, they have something up their sleeves that they're working on or something around the corner to really help that. Like for console, they are getting server browser, which is an absolute game changer for console. But for all the PC people that have been suffering, we're still here just suffering. Console will be suffering with us soon. Um, yeah, there's just nothing going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, like, it is good that we fixed a lot of the bugs. I mean, Neck mentioned I haven't seen the loadout bug in forever. They fixed the loadout
Yeah,
bug. They fixed the grenade bug. I think those are some major accomplishments this
absolutely.
year.
That was literally stuff that Black Matter could not do or
Right.
figure out. So you
And,
got to give him credit for that.
and I think that's great. But on the other hand,
Mhm.
like you mentioned, the night maps and the skirmish, like I understand it was mainly a bug fix kind of year. And they released technically a decent amount of maps, but man, maybe it's just me. But I hate the night maps. I hate the night maps. Like
Yeah,
I was
I mean,
into it at first.
we're definitely on the side of. Yeah, I hate them.
I hate
There's
them
not
so
again.
much.
It's more just stuff. There's not one night map that I think is better than a day map. Foig gets pretty close, but there's never a time where I'm like, I wish I was playing the night version of this.
Never.
And
No.
does not happen.
No. Like I like the variety, but I don't know if that was necessarily like the route to take. I think what would be nice is if they had dynamic weather change or
Yeah,
dynamic like day night cycle. I think that would be more interesting. But I can't stand it. And then skirmish, I don't know how many people play skirmish, even on console.
we were told a stat, but I'm not sure if we're allowed to repeat
I
it
don't
because I
think
don't
we
know if it's
can.
been repeated outside the channel, but it's
It's
not a
not a
lot.
lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I legitimately have played skirmish 3 times maybe, and I think 2 of those times
It's
was
enough.
on LL Main. That's
All right,
it.
so let's start there. Let's start with skirmish. Skirmish mode was so they test out all these different things, but they just kind of missed the point of it. Like it either needed to go two ways. It needed to be a complete seeding mode, but they didn't develop it for that, or they had to go a different way and like develop maps just for it and kind of make the game mode like maybe a more arcadey King of the Hill mode. But they didn't do that either. So they kind of left it this half baked like thing where
I
it's just like,
think
why play it?
I think fundamentally it was flawed from the infancy because originally, if you guys didn't know, it wasn't 50 versus 50. Originally, it was something like 30 or 40 players. It wasn't a lot. Like it was
That'd be even
tiny.
worse.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I couldn't imagine even having like that style play. It just doesn't make sense. Like, and when you make it 50 versus 50, like it still doesn't make sense. I don't think it plays well. I don't think like the garrisons really are great. And I find it interesting that I remember like back in the day, like we were talking about new garrison types. I think this was in our interview, like new garrison types, new
hmm,
gameplay mechanics, and they did add new garrison types. They're like the what I don't know what they're called, like frontline
the
garrisons,
yeah,
but they're
whatever they are.
not
But
used
yeah,
in the standard mode. So like,
well,
what was
also
it was all for skirmish.
it defeat those garrisons, the new quote unquote new garrisons defeat the whole purpose of it's supposed to be a fast paced mode. They're like, okay, we're giving you these things. You could see the outline on them, but there's a cooldown on building them. So like, if you're the commander, you can build one. Then you have to wait like over a minute before you can build the next one. It's like, okay, so we're slowing the game mode down, but it's supposed to be
Yeah,
fast paced. It's just like a forward position or some shit, whatever it is. I don't remember what it's called, but yeah, the whole idea behind it was just not well thought out. It was clearly not well tested. And it just seems like they kind of just were like, fuck it, let's just release it, which is not what they should have done at all. And they needed, if they wanted to really, really, really support this mode, they needed to develop maps specifically for it. That's how you get people to play it. It's like, why would you play any of the existing maps on that mode? It's offensive or warfare is just so much of a better experience. Like I get it if you're short on time, but even 30 minutes in a warfare match or 30 minutes in an offensive mode, you're gonna have more fun in that than you will in skirmish for part of the match. So it's just all of it just seems so half baked and like just not well planned, well thought out. And it seems like someone that doesn't play the game was fucking doing it.
yeah. I just don't understand. Like I get the mentality of having a faster game mode, right? Like having some way to not have to spend like an hour and a half to 2 hours, right, in one round. I understand that and I
Hmm.
respect that because even me sometimes I'm like, man, I have another 45 minutes of this shit. Like
Yeah.
I can't do this. So I respect it. But like you mentioned, Fresh, I think it's really just skirmish should have been a team deathmatch or something like that to teach people
It had
really
to. Yeah.
quickly how to
Yeah.
play, how, and that's it. Like the one
Yeah.
medium, I can't fathom how bad skirmish plays on console. The fact that you could solo lock a medium tank, which is the only
Hmm.
medium tank you have, I couldn't imagine how terrible that is. Like that's got to play awful.
Yeah. Yeah, they had to lean in to go full arcade on it and go like King of the Hill, cap weight matters timed, or go full team deathmatch. I know it's not realistic in other way, but with that kind of game mode and that mindset, you have to lean into those arcadey things if you want to do it and do it right. And then maybe you'll have an audience for it, but if it can't exist though in the state it is and expect to get an audience for it.
Yeah, it's just awful. I don't know how much else we can talk about skirmish aside from the just the fact that like completely misaligned from what Hella Loose is, like vision
Hmm.
wise, and the execution was just as bad. It was half baked. It was just clearly changed in the middle of development to fit what the masses, and they had already spent so much money obviously like in developing it and creating it from the ground up. It just didn't hit its mark whatsoever.
Yeah, I think they can still. I don't know. It's kind of a tough one. They
I think
wait.
it's terrible.
It's been put on the back burner for so long now that I don't know if it's worth saving. But
No,
if they did come out with like one or two maps specifically for it that aren't like that are designed for a smaller sector, and then they tweak the game mode, I'd be curious to see how it plays. But this is going to be a larger discussion that I'm sure we're going to have at some point here. Do I have faith that they could actually pull that off in a timely manner? Not really. So it's kind of best at this point to choose your battles, and like skirmish mode is not worth that fight when there's fucking bigger fish to fry.
it sucks. It was a big time sink, a big money sink. You have to abandon it.
Yeah,
Like if you want
I
this
agree.
game to continue to survive, you abandon the game mode. Just like Battlefield 5 abandoned like their like, what was it? The Battle Royale mode. Like you
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
just
yeah,
prioritize what the masses want. The masses of Hell Loose focus on the large scale maps.
yeah.
Full
And if
stop.
we're looking
That's
if
it.
we're looking at two new maps per year, I rather not have one of those two be skirmish if it comes down to
God.
choosing it.
Yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely.
I totally get it. I just don't think they have the resources, effort, or plan to really save that mode. So it can be saved, but do I think they can do it? I don't think so, honestly.
When it
So
comes to
unfortunately, yeah.
yeah, I mean, again, like I don't know what else on skirmish we can talk about. It's just
Nah,
bad. Like
fucking burn it, move on.
yeah,
Just forget
yeah,
it exists like the trailer.
exactly.
Just
Just
throw
get
it in the
rid of
bin.
it.
Yeah.
So night maps. So again, I understand that it's like additional content aside from the bug fixes. No more night maps. I'm sorry. Like like no more night maps. Just make new maps. And I mean like I'm not a developer. I don't
Mhm.
fucking know. But there is no way it takes that long to make a night map.
No, these were made a while
Period.
ago, dude.
Yeah,
These were made
like
a long time ago. They're drip feeding
absolutely.
it. They're drip feeding it to make it look like they have shit. We play tested Utah Night like several PTEs ago, and it was still the same, like as it was when they released it just recently. So those night maps were purposely drip fed to make it seem like there's things going on when there's not. And
F night maps.
I do know
Agreed.
some people enjoy them. Me personally, I can't stand night maps.
No.
I don't understand why people like them. I like seeing things when I play games. Um, I don't get it. Like, but I'm sure there's some people out there that enjoy them because I
There
see them in every rotation.
there are servers that will run back-to-back night maps and I do not understand it. Like I don't understand how that is enjoyable at all.
Yeah,
I
it's
hate
dumb
them.
because if they just remove the fog, I think they'd be way more enjoyable. Like,
Void
if you
Knight was
could see,
great. And then
Fortnite got worse, right? Like, am I going
it did.
crazy?
It definitely they added fog. for sure in Foy Night.
Because it
Like
used to be you
an
could
update or
see
two
on
ago.
Foy Night. Yeah.
Yeah, it was better than Day Night. I
Yeah,
actually
then they added
enjoyed.
fog to it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but man, it's just terrible. Like
It's dumb because the whole response to it is just turn up your brightness. Well, it's like, well, what are we doing here? What's the point of this? Let's just play day maps. It's
right.
just dumb. Like, cause so yeah, I mean, I agree. Night maps are a waste of time. Day maps are better. I do think the new Omaha is okay, but it's still not better than Omaha Day. Um, but yeah, the fog is the real bad part about it. And then again, it's kind of a half baked thing. When you heard night maps and flares coming out, weren't you like, oh, it's gonna be really cool to like shoot a flare up and illuminate everything?
The
It's like,
red is cool. The red
yeah, but
is legit.
it's like I feel like that's like an after effect of like just the lighting, but they didn't really like emphasize flares for illumination or anything. So it's again, it's another really half baked thing put in there, and they're like, just fucking throw fog in there so like people can't use brightness to turn it up. So again, it's not well thought out and it's very half baked when it could be something if they spend a little more time on it, add a little more illumination to flares. It could be something very cool, but again, it's just not. And it feels like the people pushing these night maps out don't play the game.
I will tell you what, one of the worst night maps in my opinion is Carentan. I think Carentan is one of the worst because there's so much lighting around the map that is just flat. It's just
It
not
just
there.
doesn't do anything.
No,
Yeah.
no, not nothing. Like
Yeah.
it would be super nice if like they added dynamic lighting to that map where there was a ton of lighting down the streets. It is literally the same exact map and they just turned the lighting to 0 and that's it.
Throw fog in there so you can't see more than
that's it.
10 meters. It's so
Like,
dumb.
I know I've seen people work in an Unreal Engine 4. I know that's super easy. Like the engine makes it super easy where you literally just turn a dial, like literally turn a dial for the light. I know this because I mentioned it a couple times. I don't know if in the podcast or in streams, but in Herkin Forest a long time ago during Black Matter days, there was an issue with the lighting because in Herkin Forest the light was coming from, or the sun was going one way and the shadows were going back towards the sun. And I was like, what the hell is this? And I was like joking because I was an admin cam and I was like, unplayable. I sent to the devs and literally the next update fixed instantly.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what'd you do? And he's like, oh yeah, we just like moved the sun. That's it. I was like, okay, like that's it. So but like, I know that's possible. So yeah.
I mean, again, it just takes effort. And it goes to the greater discussion of it's like apparently we have to pick and choose where this effort goes to make this game because it can't do it all from what I'm realizing.
Now,
so night maps, I feel like they could be developed for something better, but again, do I think they have the capabilities? Do I think they have the effort and time? Not something I want them to put their effort on.
No, I think if you do night maps, you do a map rework. And I'll give you an example, Carentan rework. I think that's really good. I don't know what other people, I don't know the general consensus. I haven't played a ton of times.
Fine.
I think it's great. I think it feels natural. I think it makes sense. And I thought it was a general good change because it opens up town center and like makes it somewhat realistic to where like you wouldn't have that.
They did some work on SMDM hardpoint too. So that was good to see. Like I'm always down for more of that.
But I agree.
Yeah, but it's just good to see them doing that on different points. I wish there was more of that. Like fucking give me Southern Edge on Foy or move the strong points around to make it like
when is PHL getting updated?
Dude, PHL is a fucking mess with the laws.
Why did we vote on that a year ago?
Was that Black Matter?
No, it was Team 17.
Yeah, that was so dumb.
I remember specifically
so much work. Still.
Yeah, like I think it's a fun map.
Yeah, it's just Purple Heart Lane, Stalingrad. I love his maps. But
terrible odds.
Yeah, the odds ruin it. It makes it unplayable for me.
And then I know there was a dev in our chat when we were playing Stalingrad. So if you didn't know, they're getting fixed, is what I'm told. But if you didn't know, for like at least a year, I mean, probably more, there are full buildings in Stalingrad that have no collision at all. And it's like, it's not like one, it's like one asset.
It's every one of that one.
Yeah. Every single, it's like 10 or 20 different buildings that is that same asset, where you can literally put a tank behind it and just shoot through it fully.
Yeah, I've done that many times.
Like, it's insane.
Yeah, that and combined with all the shit that just doesn't render in over long distances on Stalingrad on Purple Heart Lane is just so
I
bad. So it's
I
like,
think
why
you
aren't we
need
putting effort to that and
I think
fix
you
that?
need a tanker or like someone from the comp scene. Now this is kind of where you get like into that, but like someone that knows which LODs you can abuse, because all it needs is just those specific LODs to be adjusted. I think like there's very
Yeah, I don't know.
certain LODs, like the doors on the Stalingrad like wall, like that is just an abuse. But then you go into like the comp, like is comp gonna tell all their secrets? Probably not, because they don't want to get fixed. But then you complain that like you want it fixed. So I don't know. But I think the LODs are definitely something that has been an issue forever. But you need to get someone that knows those specific issues consistently. And I think it affects the tankers and probably like commander, maybe with their binos, like more often than anyone else. Because no one else you're really gonna notice. Like
Yeah.
infantry is not gonna notice a lot.
And this goes back to the bigger topic of just the communication that's been like on a deathbed for so long, and now it's just been completely dead between Team 17 expression and the people that play the game. Like Team 17 is totally fucking turtling right now. Like they're head in the ground, like just la 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 la, like don't want to hear any of it. Because I mean it's so easy, like just to look at a clip and be like, fucking look at it and fix it. And they just don't want to do that, unfortunately. They really close themselves off. And it sucks because
Yeah,
there's so many people out there just like fucking showing them like the most basic things to fix, and they don't care to listen.
I think there's just one individual that is the only person that listens to
Yeah,
us,
true. Yeah, I know.
and
Yeah,
it gets fixed so fast. Like the
yeah,
fact that Mortain comes in with no collision on any tree branches, or no, sorry, it has tree branches on, and the leaves have like full on collision. It just made no sense. Like you
yep.
couldn't shoot at all. I don't know. Like there's no play testing, there's no adjustment. But back to map redos or map remasters, I definitely think Purple Heart Lane, Stalingrad at the top. I think it'd be nice to see continued other ones. Like, I mean, Carentan, like continuing to update, I think is fine. I think
Hmm.
SME would be nice to open up maybe some backyards and stuff if they're not already. I can't think of
Yeah,
anything
I mean, there's
offhand.
tons of maps they could do. They could make Foy, like try and make Foy a little more fun, a little more well-rounded for
Like more
infantry, like
urban.
even make it more fair with some of those strong points. But yeah, there's things they could do for some of these maps and like really make them fan favorites if they just put some effort into them instead of some of this shit like night maps and skirmish. Like, there's a lot of stuff in Hella Loose just purely talking about maps that they can go into and try and revitalize, and it would bring some people back. It really would, and it would keep people around. Instead of fucking having to throw night maps in for variety.
Yeah, I mean, aside from the bugs, though, I think most of the bugs and like to me, a lot of the stuttering has gone away. Most of it
Yeah, plays nicely.
still on like I think Mortain stutters here and there.
I
There's
think
a
it
little bit
drops.
stuttering on some other maps, but nothing like it did before.
No, no.
Now, I will say, and hopefully this is adjusted when console console shit gets fixed, like the server browsers. But I may need to go back to it and double check. But like the last time I played console, the running speed of a person versus vehicles is awful. It is like the old running speed, but everything moves slower. So you can fully catch up to like a heavy tank in fourth gear, which just completely changes the game dynamic. And that's like one of the biggest issues with the running speed back in the day when they changed
Are
it.
we talk? Are we
Like,
just going to talk about tanks right now?
yeah, let's just talk
Because I
about
mean, I
tanks.
think that's the. I don't think it's the running speed that's the problem. I think it's the tanks that are the problem. And because we're almost at the same running speed that we had before, whatever it was, the update that fucked it up,
Running
14,
gate.
13. Yeah, whatever, whenever Sprint Gate was.
Sprint gate, yeah.
We're very close to the OG running speed, but the OG running speed worked because tanks used to be able to turn faster and drove a little faster and whatnot. But then they slowed everything down, brought running speed back up a little bit, and they didn't bring the tank speed back up a bit, so it's still fucking messy. So unfortunately, I know people that don't play tanks aren't going to want to hear this, but they need to make tanks turn faster. On top of just making shit. I mean, they should. Okay, let me rephrase that because now I'm about to go on a tangent. They should rework tanks from the ground up. But obviously we're probably not going to get that ever in our lifetime. So there are little things they should do, like just looking at tank mobility and fucking letting them turn, making them not get stuck on stuff and things like that. Because if you fix that, then running speed obviously isn't so bad for infantry against tanks when a tank can turn faster and it doesn't take a million years. So there are things they can do. They just have to do them, unfortunately, without having to do a full rework.
I think, I mean, I still think there's an issue between infantry and armor, not as much as it used to, but I still feel that there needs to be some more consistencies between the armor itself or some more clear asymmetrical gameplay. What I like
Yes.
about Squad 44 is that each tank is viable in its own right. Like, you still can't go against like a Sherman versus a Panther,
Hmm.
but you can if you play smart. I feel like in Hella Loose, it's just like always a heavy. And
Yeah. Oh yeah.
the worst part about it is the economy, and that kind of goes into nodes a little bit, but the
Hmm.
economy to where, and I'm sure you guys listening, watching have experienced this too. Like, I like to think usually Fresh and I are like a good tank crew that because we stay alive for quite a while, right? But whatever. But the fact is, say we take the medium tank, we're punished because that second tank crew took the heavy tank. And now when they take that heavy tank and die before we die or die around the same time because say we kill the first medium tank and they get a heavy, of course we're going to die. There's no competing because we can't move fast enough, we can't outflank it. Like, the spotting is just a little too easy to where we get spotted so easy, but we die, right? Now we're on the fuel deficit because that first tank crew has taken that tank, 1-2 times. I do think that should be a commander thing that they do need to manage, but still, it's so frustrating because it's like almost like I might as well just not take that first tank
Hmm.
to get a heavy because the heavies are so good.
Yeah. The heavy
If
meta is just the most boring thing ever. I mean, let's just rip that band off real quick. It's unfortunate that it's gone on this long, um, because it's awful. The heavy versus heavy gameplay is just not engaging. It's crazy how much more engaging medium versus medium is. Um,
and like
but yeah, it's not, I don't know. The whole thing's fucking stupid.
and for the tank events that we run, like, that's the reason why we don't run heavy tanks, is because like the heavy tanks don't rick a ton, aside from of course like lower rounds, but
It's
like
so
heavy versus
hard to
heavy,
Rick on
it's
a heavy versus
tough.
heavy unless it's like an IS-1.
And the heavy, like, if we let one heavy into that like tank v tank game mode that we run, it would just kill everything.
Oh,
Like,
it's not an option.
everything. Like, you
Yeah,
can't.
it's not an option.
So
Yeah.
it's like the medium tank play. I would honestly be happy if they got rid of heavy tanks altogether
Oh yeah.
and just had medium tanks, because the gameplay is so much more dynamic. Now I will say there is still the issue with like the Panzerschreck being super strong against the medium Sherman. And I'm okay with that. I just
Mhm.
don't think it should pen the front. That's my only
Well,
thing.
here's the thing. Hell at Loose tanking used to be a lot more fun because the fuel economy didn't matter as much. When they swapped over to the heavy meta, they also increased the cost for fuel. Like I think it doubled it almost or something. It was like it went from like fucking 300, 400 to like 600. Um so all of a sudden it's like they're not only is the heavy tank the most powerful in the game, they doubled down on it with the fuel, saying like you're going to get less of these. It's more important. It's going to run the battlefield, and it just kind of shits all over everything else.
It's the
As far
only
as tanks
tank you
go.
have. Like, if you
Yeah.
don't have it, you're done.
So the fact that they not only gave it invincibility from the front against mediums, they also increased the fuel cost. So it makes it even more important. If they had just done one of those, I think that'd be the way to go. Because then it's not as crazy if you lose that heavy in that battle. It's like okay, like you're punished because you have to drive up from the back line again. Like that's already punishment.
I think if there
Um,
was some sort
yeah.
of weak spot in the front for heavy
Oh
tanks,
yeah,
like, that would cure a lot of the issues, because you
hundred
wouldn't have
percent.
that heavy tank always there. The heavy tanks would be more like risky to lose kind of thing.
Mhm.
Now, it has to be a very tricky shot, I think. Like, it needs to be like a cheek shot like the Panther. I think the Panther is like a great example of that
No,
because
no,
he
I
can't kill.
people are gonna hate me for this. It needs to be closer the Firefly. It needs to be 2
Mm.
shots, but it needs to be smaller. But I think it should be like drive report or something. They need to make mediums, but a medium could still get 1 shot from a heavy, so it's still at a massive disadvantage
Yeah, but the thing
if the
is,
heavy
you can
crew's still
spawn
there.
two medium tanks. So imagine like two medium tanks. Like, I
Mhm.
think more dynamic gameplay to where numbers could counteract the
Yeah,
strength.
yeah.
or like the
If you tell me
speed.
2 mediums creep up on a heavy, like, they should get that kill.
Right, like we saw
Yeah.
yesterday in
Yeah.
the tank versus tank. If you didn't watch tank versus tank, make sure you go ahead and check out Fresh's
Yeah.
video when he posts it. But like there was 2 medium tanks, and they time their shots to do like double medium shots, and like two tap it really quick, like things like that, where you could flank faster. Like the tanks were far faster as mediums than heavies. I think more dynamic, more movement is what I enjoy in Hell Loose. That's why medium tanks are so much better. If you have the heavy, you're so stationary. No, it's just like, I hate Hurricane Forest, because all Hurricane Forest tanking is sitting in one spot behind a building and like peeking forward, coming back, peeking forward, coming back.
Yeah.
I love Carrington tanking. I love SME because you're forced to move around.
Yeah.
That's why it's good.
Yeah, and these are things why we're focused on. Obviously, we could sit here and be like, ground up rework is obviously the best way to go. Guys, we need to accept like that's not coming.
Right.
So we have to kind of look
For
at
Hell Loose
ways.
1.
Yeah, oh God, I don't. You're gonna make my brain have a fucking stroke again about the fact that if Hell Loose 2 exists. No, but that's why we're talking about these little things. Like, obviously, we could sit here and be like, working from the ground up, like make it a whole thing. That'd be cool. Like, I would fucking love that, but we're not going to get that. So we kind of have to sit here and speculate about things that are possible. And something like weak spots on the front of heavies that mediums can 2-shot in the hull, 3-shot in turret, I think is a fantastic idea. All of a sudden, the tank game is changed drastically. Mediums are a viable option throughout the 90 minutes, and you have a choice of tank you can use. You don't have to sit there and wait in HQ for fucking 10 minutes to get a tank. And on top of that, if you also, I know it's kind of reworking it, but give the ricochet and angling a little more leeway, because right now it's like almost impossible. I mean, a T-34 can bounce shots from Panther and Tiger sometimes, but if you're in a medium, it's almost impossible to bounce a shot from a heavy. Even when you kind of should, it doesn't. So I think that goes a long ways up and down the chain. I would love to see more angling be a viable
Needs to be
option.
more consistent. I think that's the
Yes.
main thing. Like consistency. Like if you angle a certain way on any tank, well, aside from maybe the light tank, but like it should be consistent ricocheting.
It's pretty shitty the way it is, but if they go in there and mess around with the angles a little bit, I think all of a sudden it opens up a lot and gives you a little more options. And all of a sudden, if they, if mediums can pen heavies from the front and you can angle and ricochet your tanks, all of a sudden the tank game in Hell Loose, it's fucking very different from what it is, with 2 very, very minor changes.
And you see the medium, the 75, or the jumbo 75 probably used more as well, because it'd be like somewhat viable.
That's its own thing, but the jumbo 75 is just a fucking train wreck of a tank. But yeah, it's this, if it can be penned in the front for mediums, lower the cost on it, all of a sudden it's like, sure, why not? Like, why not? Like, give it more smoke rounds, do something for it. But this opens it up greatly without having to go in there and do a complete rework. What I would like to see on top of this in a dream scenario, and this lets them stick in with the tier system, is if they start messing with turret turn speed and tank turn speed with different tanks, and mess with ammo amounts for each tank. These are all things they can do within their current tier system. They don't have to give it a full fucking rework, and they can make it a little more.
Now.
They can make it a little more asymmetrical. Like, for example, maybe give the Jumbo 76 swap ammo types, make it a fucking tank destroyer, lower that HE, and all of a sudden give the Jumbo 75 a bunch of HE and lower AP. So you have
larger HE, impact. Like that would be awesome. And a 50 cal or some shit like that. Like, make it different.
They could do stuff like that within their tier system without giving a whole rework. It just takes them putting the effort into it, unfortunately. I know we could sit here and talk about tanks for forever, but the harsh reality is tank players in Hell Loose are the minority of players. So we are put on the back burner. Notice how there hasn't really been any tank changes in a long time. But yeah, there's a lot to fix with tanks. There's some minor things they can do that can go a long way. They just have to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree entirely. Like, tank just has to change. That kind of goes into like meta changes. So I suppose like the most notorious meta change, first off, they haven't done any meta changes aside from the forward garrisons, which isn't a meta change. Yeah, so it doesn't do anything.
Don't even count that.
I mean, number one, I'm actually coming out with a video that I was working on a little bit ago. Offensive, dude. Offensive sucks. People love
Um,
offensive.
it's
I
tough.
I think
So
offensive needs a huge rework, specifically with two factors. One, beach maps and or all maps. I don't care. They need to either get rid of the first objective, or they need to go ahead and let you spawn anywhere you want on the initial area. That's for one. Number two, artillery needs to go ahead and be removed and just completely
that's
converted
we'll
into a commander
save
ability.
that conversation.
Yeah,
Artillery is a whole nother thing we
straight
talk
up.
about. Keep going though. Keep going.
But no, that's the main two factors. We found like Fresh and I were playing. This is what, like last week, and
Mhm.
like the worst case scenario that has happened multiple times. But I haven't played Utah enough offensive to see this. But
U.S.
like,
offensive specifically.
yeah, U.S. offensive to where we had a Tiger, a Panther, AT guns, and multiple MG42s, and all they could do is spawn on like what, 4 boats?
Yeah,
That's
because
it. That's
it's
it.
default
And
default
there's
spawns.
no way they can go ahead and get off that. Like, I feel terrible for it, but like, you have to do it.
It's
Like,
the game.
it's just what it is.
It's the
So
game.
it's like the same as like the arty meta. Like, you have to do it. So
Yeah.
so you post up on the beach, you're shooting them before they can even land. And I get it. Like, for a first time player, it's cool, it's immersive. There are way better ways to make it fun and immersive with just expanding the area you can spawn. In
Yeah.
reality, they didn't spawn in 4 fucking boats.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
that's the reality
mind
of it.
blowing. They don't let you spawn at the other two HQ spawns. It's mind blowing to me
Absolutely.
that that's not an option.
It's terrible. And
Let
like,
let the tanks come in down there, like whatever.
yeah,
Give whatever people on the
like
beach need to get them off there.
folks are gonna say, "Oh, why don't you get a half track?" But well, I mean, by the time you
They
get a
would
half
have blown
track,
up in 2 seconds.
yeah, like they're gone. So
Yeah.
if you have a good squad, like a good team, your team knows exactly what they're gonna do. It's the same as like Ray Morgan. Like Ray Morgan, you always know you have to have a garrison on the far end because they're always gonna go for that airhead. It's always the same thing. There needs to be some other way that can be countered on offensive,
Yeah.
specifically the beach maps.
Yeah, I mean, Beach Maps and Rogan have their own specific issues, I think, from the rest of them. But offensive in general, it's kind of crazy. That game mode has the highest of highs for Hell Let Loose and also the lowest of lows, I think is the best way to put it. If you're playing offensive and you have new players that don't know what they're doing or how the game mode works, it is drastically worse than Warfare as an experience.
Yes.
But when you have two teams that know what they're doing in offensive, it is a great experience. So it's a real tough battle to fight there and figure that out because it's really easy to say it's skill issue, but at the same time, the game should do a better job of explaining what players need to do and how offensive really, really works. But I think that's the general, just the most basic understanding of like what the fuck is wrong with offensive. I think that's it. Offensive itself, I would love to see actual objectives in it rather than just go stand in a circle like Warfare. I think it should be like, arming bombs on stuff or fucking collecting multiple intels or things like that. It should have a specific objective to make it a little more unique and give it something. Some of the best times I had in gaming were playing Battlefield Rush, like trying to arm the bomb, everyone's diving on it to try and disarm it. There's something like that in there, and that all of a sudden it gets pretty fun. So I think it just needs a little more depth to it. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of going on a tangent about offensive now, but I do think offensive is some of the best experiences Hell Loose. Unfortunately, it's just again not
Maybe
fucking not
maybe if
not
they had
developed
like a
enough.
default garrison at each point, but arty
I
needs to get
agree.
removed. That is the worst. Like, especially
Yeah.
on Utah. Like on Utah, I remember waiting for that tank specifically, Fresh, and I
Hmm.
was like, "Oh, let me hit the beach." And because the
That's
point
a Utah
is so
problem.
close. No, I know, but it's an arty problem too because you can sit
Yeah,
there
yeah.
and just arty forever and can never be competed. And I
Okay.
think that's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
dumb. That's so
yeah.
dumb.
Well, all right. Let's move on to Artie in a second here, and we can talk about Artie and that whole shit because that's a whole conversation I want to have. But offensive in particular, I would love to see a default garrison at every point. I think
Yeah,
that would go a long way because then it allows the defending team to fucking
correct.
defend a little more, and I think that'd be really cool. But yeah, it's unfortunately it's like you get those default garrisons, and it's kind of weird. Like you have two that aren't even close to the point, but they
And
just
you have
exist.
people, yeah.
Yeah, so and unfortunately, it just kind of is what it is. Is it's again just another half baked asset, part of Hella Loose that with a lot of love, a little more love and a little more effort, could become something really good. Again, I think that's kind of going to be the underlying theme of this whole chat. Is just fucking we all see the potential. It's right there in front of us, but unfortunately, no one's developing it.
Yeah, like I mean, just playing the Utah Beach game from Squad 44 just gives me such an appreciation for a way that like
Hmm.
really makes you feel immersed. Like having the whistle, like dropping the rail, actually have a chance to spawn wherever you want on that beach, having a full front, like easily being able to make it across, but also having the option to give you that PTSD, running right through the middle, potentially making it through. On
Hmm.
top of that, like having random, I think they do damage. I don't know, but like the random 88s effects that are blowing up around you on the beach, like it really gives that that reality feeling of everything exploding around you. Hell Loose doesn't have that. Hell Loose, you spawn, it's like okay, get the truck, get on that point as fast as you can, and just pop as much smoke as you possibly can. You have
Hmm.
about 10-20 seconds before they run up, and then it's like MG42s. And then if you're lucky, you cap it. If you're not, you get that top point on Omaha. You're just trying to spawn on 4 boats for
And if
30
you want
minutes.
a solution for beach maps, how you do that? Give Oh my god, this is like now we're going into dreamland where I'm at the fucking whiteboard being like, this would be awesome.
This is how you
But
make the game.
yeah, give the allied commander a fucking specific column for that map of like naval batteries or something, so they can bombard the beach and get people off the ridge or displace tanks or something. Um, that'd be really cool. Something asymmetrical that helps out the team and stuff. But again, that would require somebody to do something, which I don't think is going to happen.
Yeah. So that offensive, again, like I know it's console's favorite thing, like that's their favorite game mode, but it's because you have so many people that don't know how to play the game, like that. So it forces people to go to the only objective. Warfare is such a more balanced in most maps, like a balanced, fun round if both teams are pretty even.
Okay, before we get in artery, I feel like artery, we should go into warfare. So warfare, I mean, obviously, I think is the preferred mode of Hell Let Loose, just because people love attacking them. Means half the server doesn't have to defend. But I think, I mean, this is going to be a hot take, but I hate the teleporting aspect of the Hell Let Loose meta of just building back zone garrisons and like teleporting the whole team behind it. I was one of those rare people that loved when red zone garrisons got taken out of the map or out of the game, and maps actually had like a real frontline feeling, and it was grindy, it was brutal, and like when you took a point, it was fucking awesome. It was a little bit less flip floppy, and a lot of times the team that took the middle point usually ended up winning, but it felt like there's a front line, and like you had to do these real flanks if you wanted to accomplish a flank, rather than like one guy, one SL that can have two dudes double drop for a red zone garrison, and the whole team teleports there. It wasn't as fun. So
Penny
I would
says hello.
love to see Warfare kind of meta change a little bit and have more of a frontline focus, and have teams work together and go away from just teleporting around to different parts of the map.
See, I disagree. I like the red zones because, to your point, like I remember back in the day, it was pretty much like a 80% chance if you cap that middle point, you win. Period.
Yeah.
Um, However, I do agree in the sense that there needs to be more of a front line. I don't know how to do that, but I think there needs to be a clear front line engagement. Like you
It's
have
easy.
to
You
go
get
through
rid of
that.
red zone garrisons.
Yeah.
We already have half tracks that nobody uses and airheads, so it's like there's three different ways to get red zone spawns way behind, or four if you include OPs, but three main team red zone spawns currently you can use. And all of a sudden, you see it now. How many games do you lose these days when you build that red zone spawn and the whole team just bails off the front line and goes behind the
Yeah.
team, and they just let the enemy walk right in? So it sucks. It's not fun gameplay, I think, to encourage that.
Speaking of half tracks, hear me out. First vehicle that spawns should not be a transport truck. should absolutely be a half track.
100%.
100% should be a half track.
100% should be a
And
half
that should
track.
be a default half track that is
Yes.
always available to you. And on top of that, I don't know why they removed it, but they need to make sure that only squad leaders and commanders can drive that. Like period.
Community complained about it, so
Yeah, that's a stupid community complaint.
yeah.
They should absolutely only be squad leaders and commanders that use that.
Yeah, that's a shame. I was really looking forward to that.
But the half track should be the immediate default. You can do whatever you want with it, and it should always come back automatically on top of the 2 or 3 other ones that you can spawn.
Yep. Yeah, it would,
100%.
and I know that's kind of catering to like the shittier gameplay of like, okay, like what if like an SL doesn't get the starting supply truck, or like commander wants nodes to be built, and I know right now we're more reliant on SLs working with support to build garrisons, which is, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that, except that people don't fucking do it, and this is kind of catering to that. If you do kind of give people a half track, but I think we kind of have to settle for that and kind of encourage shittier gameplay. But I think in the grand scheme, it'll improve gameplay.
I think so.
Yeah, it's less teamwork, but I think in the greater scheme, it's more fun.
I think maybe just like a quality of life change because we don't have the tutorial. Maybe making some sort of map designation, like when there's an objective that somewhat highlights the cap zone. Make it very different than offensive, right? Offensive is the circle, full stop.
Yes. Yep.
Like I think for new players, they fail to understand because you can't really see like your cap progress, right? When you're, well, you can, but like you know the strong point. Yeah, like have some sort of little highlight around the 4 squares that actually count, and that'll help people be able to see the objective easier.
I want to know. I wish there's data to figure out how many people actually press M for map in this game, and pay attention to the UI. And again, I don't know if this is the UI doing a completely awful job of not informing the player, or if players just don't even know how the UI works. So I don't know what's the better fix there. You make the UI fucking scream at players, or this is good. We're going to be talking about tutorials here where the player just doesn't know about it. So it's like you have to do a better job of teaching players. A little both, probably. I don't know. But I mean, players just don't fucking know how the game works, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I'll tell you my last thing that I would change about Warfare, and this is something that I don't know why they ever changed away from this, but I thought it was cool and the best this way. And I know you have different opinions, but the nodes. So I think the nodes, they should go back to where, 1, you can put them in enemy territory, and 2, the further out you put them, the more resources they generate.
We could talk about nodes in a second. Nodes are, I think, a whole discussion.
I think that's another Warfare thing I would change.
Aside from that, after this, we'll do RD and nodes. But Warfare in general, I think the only thing that would benefit it is, and I'm pretty sure it used to be in there. We've been playing this game for so long, I'm forgetting, is back sectors have a timer so you can't be back capped drastically. Give it a minute, give teams to recover. I'm so tired of steamrolls, dude.
Yeah.
When the game is so dependent on 50 people working together, there has to be a little bit of forgiveness right now. And it's even if it's just a minute fucking buffer so you don't get back capped, and the teams just need a chance to get reset up when how the public games work. So I would love to see a minute timer brought back up so you can't get back capped and whatnot, and gives a little bit of buffer. Maybe just not on middle point. I don't know, because that's always kind of fun when that goes back and forth. It's tough, but something like that. I'm just so tired of steamrolls in this game, and I'm so tired of a few people having to build garrisons for Warfare and put the game on their back and burn themselves out so 90 something other people can enjoy not playing the game how it's supposed to be played. So it's a mess. And there's a lot of thought that needs to go into Warfare to really keep people around, make it so it doesn't fall on just a few people to make sure rounds are played how they're supposed to be played.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
But they could do tweaks here and there. And again, a lot of it's going to be kind of like dumbing down the game in a way, but I think it would improve gameplay drastically. It is what it is.
I agree.
All right, we want to talk about Artie?
Artie sucks. I mean,
Artie's fucking
if I had
terrible.
it my way, just get rid of Artie entirely.
Yeah, make it a
Like,
commander call and just get rid of it.
yeah. Or
Or go on. I'll let you
I
go
was gonna
first.
say,
Go.
or you could have it there and like make it a commander call in maybe for like 5 minutes
Yep,
to
that's what I was
where
about to say.
then like it's active, right? Like you got more ammo for it, and then you get
Mhm.
like, you know, X amount of shots that you can shoot, and then you shoot them, and then that's it.
Yep.
Like that's it. I mean that's the only way to really
I think
adjust
that's
it.
great. I think that's
And
great.
then
And you could it keeps people have to work together. Communication has to be good because you have to make it really effective. So you're gonna want the right people on there. You're gonna be talking. It's gonna make Artie the people on Artie really have to work harder with the team. And I think that would be fantastic change.
I think the cooldown has to be the same as like airstrike.
Yep,
Like it has to be
20
long,
minutes. You think? Yeah.
and then I think again like you can only shoot X amount of shots because
Yep.
the biggest issue for me is when in offensive specifically when you cannot compete against the Artie. That's the
Yeah, you mean
dumbest
like when
thing.
you're playing like Purple Heart Lane or some shit, and there's like one bridge you can cross or a road.
But not necessarily that. Like you can't go beyond X
Yeah, yeah.
objective.
There's
Like
nothing
that's
you can
the
do.
no, that's the dumbest thing.
Yeah,
So you just have to
yeah.
let them beat you down for X so long, and
Yep.
then if you go ahead and capture the objective, then you can go. I
Yeah,
just
and
don't
then
think that makes good gameplay.
yeah, well, Artie in general is so fucked, and the counter to anything with Artie, once you're able to even get to it in offensive, is you've really two options. You can send recon, which is terrible for those two players. That's not fun at all. Or you can send a recon tank, which all it takes is one AT spawning back there to destroy. So it's just a dumb counter. It's a dumb gameplay loop that needs to be like. I would honestly prefer them to look at that, but then before tanking, just because I know that would appeal to the masses more and change the game for everybody on the whole server. So I think that is something that needs to be a fucking priority. It's
Yeah.
so dumb. It's so dumb, and
Like I
it's
don't care if they remove it entirely. Just
yeah.
like
Oh no, I'm fine with that too. Make it an off map call in. You make bombing runs a little different. Give Artie like a sweeping barrage. I don't care. Like that's an even better solution
like
too. Get
half the
rid get rid
times
of
the
it
bombing
altogether.
runs and then just get rid of Artie. I would be fine with that. Like I
Yeah.
don't care. Like just anything to get rid of Artie. I just don't think it makes good gameplay. Like I get
And
it, it's fun,
yeah.
but it just doesn't like it's just not fun for everyone else when you cannot get contested at all. Or you have to
It's
force people to just only kill you over and over and over and over.
yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
not good.
You have to
It's
sit
not
there
good
and
gameplay
literally shoot
design.
people as they spawn in an HQ, and it's a
No.
terrible look for the
I
game,
don't
and it's
I
not
don't
fun.
like spawn camping people.
No, it doesn't
I'll
it
do
doesn't
it
it
if I
doesn't feel
have
good.
to. If you keep
Yeah.
going to the thing, I've done it plenty of times, but I don't find it entertaining gameplay at all.
This is one of those big issues where it's insane that not even a change has been tested because people have been complaining about this for years, and it's like a loud and clear thing that nobody likes this, and
It's
I'm
like
amazed that
that should
this
have
is
been a
this
priority
it's a complete
immediately.
failure by Team 17. It really is that this has not even have a look at like it's absolutely nuts.
Yeah, agreed. And
Yeah.
then, I mean, that's pretty much it with Artie. I don't know what else you got about Artie.
It's crazy. I mean, I can sit here and here's the thing. Let's say they can't change it. We know the code for Hell Let Loose is an absolute clusterfuck. So let's say like what if it was tied to the map? Like they legitimately couldn't change it. That's totally a possibility. I don't know game design. I know Hell Let Loose is fucked. So maybe it is, but all it would take is a little communication of the developers being like, "Look, guys, we know, but we can't do anything about it. We're working on it. We're trying to figure it out." We don't even get that. So that is like terrible. that,
Nothing.
that there's not even a thought into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed. It's just like, yep, we're gonna change it a year later.
Yeah, yeah,
What about it?
yeah. So,
Have you looked
no.
at it?
Oh, you
Have you
guys.
looked at
Oh,
any
yeah. I forgot
options?
about that. Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
Yeah, it's fucked. But I mean,
yeah, I
that's
don't know.
already. I don't know what else you could say about it. It's just not great.
Yeah, and then nodes again. Like, I think just go back to the old way of making nodes. Like,
Nah, you
just
could go further with that. Go on, though.
I,
Go on. Sorry.
I think I'm just thinking like something they can do right now. Like,
Sure.
I mean, either I guess keep it the way it is. That's fine. Like right now, it was just, from my understanding, it seems like it was just kind of a fix for now, and they were gonna change it later. And obviously, like Black Matter was bought out. That was my interpretation of it.
Mhm.
But back in the day, how they had it was you could put it as far out as you wanted, every 2 sectors, and the further you put it, the more
Yeah,
resources you
that's old
gained.
school.
So it
Yeah.
would really like promote trying to get engineers to backlines. You could put mines out there. You could do whatever in the backlines. Like you would have to sneak around. Of course, like you'd have armor looking around. Promote more recon tank play. Promote more like, anti tank, or sorry, anti like engineer play, like with snipers, whatever. But like the team that would do that would generate more resources, and thus you would go ahead and have more heavy tanks.
Yeah.
Then, well, this is Black Matter. Black Matter, I don't know why the
Yeah,
fuck they did
this is
this.
years ago.
But Black Matter did this thing where they were like, okay, no, so you can no longer build nodes in the enemy territory. However, the same rule applies. The further out you have it, the more resources you generate. That I literally stopped playing until they fixed it, because it was so
terrible.
bad to
That
where
was so bad.
if your team was losing, and remember, like when you lost a sector, just like anything, everything would delete. So like your team would say be losing maybe right off the bat, and you're always losing. You never have as many resources as they have.
Yeah.
And they would get more bombing runs, and they would get more tanks, and they would get more airheads, and so far, and it would just snowball, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And if you were like that team that's holding, for dear life at the last point, it's just bleeding out at that point. You could never come back because you could never generate more resources ever. That was awful.
No.
And then they did this, and they were like, okay, this is kind of like a temporary patch, and then we never saw anything happen again. I think just go back to the old way. It was great.
No, I'm gonna disagree with you on this. I think there's better things they can do. Yeah.
Hit me with it.
So you don't go back to the old ways. They can improve node gameplay. Right now, nodes are just a chore. Like if they
Agreed.
don't change it, remove them. Who cares? It's just a chore for XP. It's terrible. Again, terrible gameplay for recon, having to sit there for 6 fucking minutes holding F, dude. It's for one set. So if you dismantle 3 sets, that's like 18 minutes of just holding F. That's terrible gameplay. It's not that out. So if they're not going to change it, remove them. Like give commanders plus 60. Who gives a fuck? It's more fun. But what they can do is they can go a lot of different ways. You don't have to fucking reinvent the wheel with this. Tie nodes to garrisons. Make sure that nodes have to be built around garrisons. Make it so ammo nodes can refill tanks, so you can gamble building them closer to the front line. Make it so if you build a manpower node around a garrison, it cuts like spawn time off like 5 seconds or some shit.
Okay, no, maybe your garrisons are the nodes, and
Yeah,
those just
exactly.
generate.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
the
my
more
God, all of a
garrisons.
sudden,
Oh my
yeah.
god, could
Yeah,
you imagine
all of a sudden
that?
you're getting garrisons built everywhere,
Dude? That'd be so nice.
Yeah. So they need to tie nodes in with garrisons, because obviously people like building nodes because they like the XP and shit. Like it's the easiest way to level things up. So they just need to go a little further and tie it in. I don't necessarily want to go back to like the old days of like sneaking across the map and building sets and stuff. I think they make it a little more dynamic, make it a little more team oriented and strategic, where it's like, okay, if we build a garrison at windmills on church, let's build an ammo node next to it so tanks can like restock or something or something like that. But there's ways they can go about it to make it a little more interesting, a little more dynamic here. But I think at the bottom line of the day, it's like tie nodes in with garrisons, make it so they can't be built like, fuck, oh my god, the idea of just driving a truck up to the 2 row and building nodes there and driving away is so stupid. Make it so they have to be built around garrisons. That way they exist. People get their XP. Like,
And I love it when people are like, "Oh, they're finding all our nodes." They're always in the first 2 sectors.
You literally, as recon, go to the 2 row and just walk down that line. You find every set.
Every
It's
time.
So dumb.
Every
so
time.
Dumb. So tie it with garrisons. Do something with that. All of a sudden, it's going to get a little more interesting. Make it a little better.
Makes you want to take garrisons out. Makes you want to build garrisons. I think that's great.
Yes.
I think that's awesome.
Like you can't build nodes until you build garrisons. Like I fucking love that idea. Get fucked starting engineers in that supply truck. Build garrisons.
Yeah. Oh my god, those fucking engineers that steal that beginning supply truck.
Yeah.
Will never.
I would
never
love
make
to see
sense
the
to
two
me.
tied together. Nah,
Yeah.
I don't even want to get down to that. Someone
I
out there's
agree.
watching, just shaking their fist at the screen.
Yeah,
right
they're
now.
like, it's always important to get nodes up at first. No, it's not.
But yeah, I think I tie it with garrisons. And all of a sudden, you're going to see people being like, "Where's our garrisons? Where's our garrisons?" Rather than right now. So I think tie nodes to garrisons, and all of a sudden, it's going to get a little bit better.
Agreed. And then I mean, aside from that, so we covered. I guess let's talk about infantry, like infantry changes. I will say, like, so far this year, I do like the changes they made to infantry. I like the diving. I think the diving actually is really nice, and it's in
It's
a good
fine.
spot now. Now,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
correction,
I
now.
agree. Took a while to get
Um,
there.
yeah, I think the running speed is fine. I think the gunplay plays really well. I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things of Hell Loose.
Tough. I mean, it's one of the most limiting things about Hell Loose. You can't really fuck with shit when everything's 1-2 at kills.
Yeah, I still feel spoiled going to say something like Battlefield or like
Oh
that game we were
god.
playing Delta Force.
Oh,
Like
it's awful.
I
Where it
love
takes
the time
6
to
to 7
kill.
shots to kill
Y-
somebody.
Like that's crazy.
I
So
don't know how people play those games. It's
yeah,
terrible.
I do like it. I think the only thing with gunplay I would change it. Well, I guess this is kind of going to different guns. Like have some more dynamic gun emplacements you can put. Maybe like, like 50 cals,
Sure.
MG42 emplacements. Like build some more around the emplacements. Build some more around like I guess what the guns do. Maybe like an overheating
Yeah.
mechanic for like the MG42.
It's tough because gunplay is. I would love to see recoil increased a lot more. I would like to see. I would like it to just be a little more challenging to kill somebody in general because I feel like you laser people way too easily in this game.
What
I feel
about
like it's
like the
very very easy.
No, I agree. What about like the
Yeah.
squad combat overhaul? A lot of people said they hated it, but squad itself has grown
Yeah.
exponentially since it.
Well, I think the
Should there
suppression
be
mechanic in Hell Loose needs to be increased. I think recoil needs to be increased. I think firefights just need to be drawn out a little bit more rather than like fucking you see someone 300 meters away, it's like
just pop
just
them and they're
point
dead?
click. It's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be maybe add a little more sway at those longer ranges or something. I don't know, but I think long shots should be harder to hit. I think suppression should matter more. It would give MGs a better purpose. And I'm pretty sure it's still in the game. Like medics and SLs reduce suppression. That was like
Yeah.
an urban myth that was
Well,
true. I don't know if it's
it
still in
is,
there,
but it
but
doesn't
suppression's
really.
dumb, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, that matters a little more. But yeah, I think something like that could go a long way without having to get too in there and really mess around too much. Again, this is going back to just being like, if we change a couple little things, devs out there, we can fucking change a lot. You don't have to get in there and spend a year reworking one thing to mess up a bunch of other things. Like just get in there and change a couple little things. All of a sudden, it goes a long way.
And then
I
maybe
think that,
just like
yeah.
adjustment to the classes too. Maybe adding some more variety. I know they kind
Oh,
of
dude.
they did a great job. I thought
Okay.
in Main.
Yeah. So that's
Like
yeah.
having
Go on.
more specific guns, specific
Mhm.
classes to what was actually there. I like that. I think that's really cool
Yeah.
because it gives you a unique experience every time.
Oh, remember when factions were supposed to be a thing? When
That's
they're like,
supposed to
everybody's
still be a
getting all
thing.
maps are gonna get factions, map specific loadouts. It's like, cool, we got one, and that just got fucking never again. Like, it's so dumb. It's so dumb that that happened. Like, we got map specific factions and camos on LL main. That's like, yeah, we're just gonna stop there. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, give me more bolt action focused map
You're gonna take your
specific
bolt
loadout stuff.
action,
Yeah.
shove it up your ass, and you're gonna get more night maps.
Yeah, it's so dumb. They did okay, so it's like I do want to give some pauses out there. What Team 17 Expression did with LL Main and the map factions and loadouts on that map, I think was really good. And I wanted that on
Even
other
on
maps.
drill, like the tank camos, the
Mhm.
outfits, great. I love them. I think
Yeah.
they're awesome.
But yeah, I think reducing some of the automatics and whatnot and going back to rifle focused gameplay is major plus. I think that would be a really cool thing to see. Because this, I do not enjoy. I mean, that's a big turnoff for me. I actually enjoy playing infantry in Squad 44 than I do over Hella Loose because the restriction on all the autos and whatnot. I would love to see more of that in Hella Loose and get away from the SMGs
Yeah,
and STGs and BARs and on grease guns and all that shit.
I think it would be nice to just have a rework of some of the classes. I would also
Yeah, I agree.
like level, and this is something we asked a long time ago too. I would also like level 10 not to be the top of the progression. I would also like the tank crewmen to start, like both tank classes should have a repair torch. That is a
Well, yeah,
no-brainer.
that
That's
is
just
so
been
stupid.
the fact, like for a new player to come in and not have a repair torch is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen ever. Like that
Yeah,
makes
it's
no
so
sense.
dumb. It makes no sense. Nobody thought
It
about
puts
it, and
them at a
nobody's looked at
disadvantage.
it. Yeah,
They should
and
not. be at a disadvantage just because they're
Yeah,
new. That's
yeah.
terrible.
It's so,
Um,
especially in a thing like tanking where it's so crucial. It's so
yeah.
dumb.
And then I honestly, it would kind of be nice if maybe you could like customize a little bit of the loadout. Like maybe you could so Ready or Not does this where you get X amount of things, but you could increase or decrease. So for example, if I wanted to go sapper, maybe I could decrease my grenades in exchange for like an additional AP mine or something like that. Not like more satchels. I don't think we need more
Mhm.
satchels. But I think like yeah, I know. But like I think there would be some nice niche if like you could increase like maybe I'm going straight medic, no like grenades, and I just want all smoke instead, or vice versa. Maybe I want all grenades instead of all smoke, or whatever the case is. It would be cool if you had some sort of like a little niche customization between some of the utilities that you have, just not like a million rockets or not a million like satchels. I don't want more
No.
grenade spam, but I think some niche, some changes to the loadouts, that would be nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think factions loadout. I would love more map specific tanks. There's so many things they can do with that, and really just it would go a long way, and it'd be minimum effort. It feels like, and they're just not doing it.
Yeah, agreed. And then I think that's pretty much all I got about classes. I think again they can just be
I
adjusted
mean,
a
we could
little
sit
bit.
here and rant about shit. We're going on. We're over an hour already. I
Fuck.
feel like, yeah.
I did want to talk about kind of like the future. I know someone mentioned like, are there any other confirmed maps? So yeah, Elsenborn
Yeah.
Ridge is
Yeah.
the new map set to come out in Q4. I would imagine, which would
Yeah,
make
yeah, yeah.
sense.
Yeah. So let's
Um,
this is a good last discussion to wrap it up. Let's talk about what's planned for the rest of the year and how we feel about this year in general so far with that. So right now there's only two major things still on whatever that roadmap or plan was. It's console server browser and Nelson Bourne Ridge. We're only still in August. This is 4 months, and those are going to be like the last two confirmed things. And Mortain came out what, June?
mhm.
Was that June?
May I
So
thought like May.
May, June, whatever.
Yeah.
So that was Q2.
Right.
So the second half of the year, the only things we're getting is one new map and console server browser. That's
They did
it as far
complete
as
their
news.
roadmap. I will say, I'll give them that.
Yeah, it's
Wasn't
terrible
a great
though.
roadmap, but I
Yeah.
mean, they completed
Yeah,
it.
not yeah, so let's say that both those things come out successfully. Do you feel like that's a good year for Hell Let Loose in general? Like with
No,
the yeah,
no,
it's
not at
terrible.
all. Like I'll tell you straight up what I think. This is not confirmed anywhere. I haven't heard of this. Like this is my thought. I think Hell Loose had such a bad year this year. Oh well, I will say Game Pass I think helped it a lot. I think
Yes.
Game Pass helped Hell Loose a ton. However, it sucked on PC Game Pass. On
Mm,
console Game Pass, I think they had a little bit more success, but I know Xbox crashes constantly, which is another issue that they haven't fixed. But I think overall, Hell Loose lost a handful of players. I think they did gain what some,
it's been a bad couple months now. Like
yeah,
it's back on the decline very steadily.
like 11%. I think in July they lost is what I saw
Yeah.
from your thing. So about 11%. I think next year is probably the last year of Hell Loose.
I mean, this game, I'm surprised it's still gone on this
Agreed.
long. Like it's 4 years. That's
Like
crazy
I
these days for a game.
I don't think it'll last much longer. I think a game's life cycle is usually 4, maybe 5 years as a game like this. Now, I will say
Mhm.
Squad 44 had a revive and they've come back. So maybe you could do 2025, 2026. But for them to not have any sort of roadmap, for them have not had any sort of communication,
It's
for
so bad.
me, it's super sketchy. I don't think they're gonna like abandon Hell Loose. What do they pay? 60 million
Well, here's the
for the
thing: when you look
IP? Like
at
some crazy.
Team 17's IPs, this is the only this I think is the biggest player base. I don't think there's any other
I think so.
quote live service games they have that even comes close. So it's a confusing thing because it's like it's got to be their fucking moneymaker, but at the same time they treat it like shit.
Yeah.
So I don't understand the logic at all. You think they would be doubling down, tripling down on Hell Let Loose to like really get in there? So
Squad
I don't
44
understand.
brought 40 something vehicles, complete redo and remaster of chapter 1, chapter 2, and now chapter 3 maps. And now are working on the Pacific for, I think they said like next year, as early as like next
something like
year
that.
or 2 years from now. I don't know, but like yeah, I think it was like late next year is what they said in their little podcast they had. And they have like what, like maybe 20 people that are part-time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The
Part-time.
amount, I mean, that's like it's night and day. The amount of turnout, communication.
They're gonna do a
what
full
OWI
Pacific.
is doing. What OWI is doing is like it makes Team 17 look so incompetent. It's so bad when you compare the two for the amount of effort, communication that OWI gives Squad 44 compared to Team 17 giving
And
hell to
so
lose.
yeah, I mean they're gonna have Squad 44 Pacific by like next year, which is like about a year. So I don't think Hell Loose is gonna come out with any Pacific at all. Like I know they mentioned they were gonna do Pacific. I don't think so. I think what they're gonna do is probably late next year they would maybe announce Hell Loose 2, but a new game. Like it's gonna be probably a 2 to 3 year development time. And I don't think you're going to see Hell Loose 2 until like 2028.
Yeah,
And
I don't know.
I'm certain it'll be on Unreal
But
5. I mean, you'd be stupid not to do
would
it
you
on
even
Unreal
be
5.
excited for it at this point?
No. I mean, if it takes that long to come out, no,
Well,
absolutely
and if
not.
it's made by the same
Like,
people that we're dealing with right now with this
they
stuff?
should have been making it right now for 2026, and they need to have it like within a year of like when the last update comes out for Hell Loose 1. That's what I think.
How sad of a thought of that is like Hell Loose is our game. Like even with all this shit, it's still like, it's like the
It's my
game
favorite
we
game.
play.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's our favorite game. And it would be disappointing that if Hell Loose 2 got announced and it was made by the same people that are currently developing this game.
Yeah.
Like I would be very disappointed. I would not be I'd be so pessimistic about it. And that's terrible to feel that way.
I just don't know if Hell Loose 2 is going to be like on the Pacific, if they're going to go to like Vietnam. I mean, there's a huge gap in the market with Vietnam and like Burning Lands and all that fucking drama. I won't even get into that. But yeah, like I think there's a Vietnam gap. I think I don't know if like Hell Loose 2 only being in Pacific is like a great move for it. I don't think I love the Pacific personally. I just don't think it's as nearly as popular as the European theater. If they did it, in my opinion, you do completely different maps. You somehow port the Unreal 4 version of them into Unreal 5. Whether or not you do, you just copy and paste it, I don't care. But like, dude, do the trickle effect that they did with the night maps. Port all the maps into the Hell Loose 2. Updated versions, remaster a little bit. Like, I don't care. Make it as similar as you want. It doesn't matter. Just Unreal 5. Port it into the new game and focus different European ones and add like 2, maybe 3 Pacific maps. That's it. It has to come out in like 2026 to 2027. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's rough, man. I mean, again, this is all speculation, kind of
Yeah,
looking at the
I
big
have no
picture.
fucking
From my
idea.
words, like I know, but here I am saying like I wouldn't be excited about it if the current people are making on it. Or would be working on it, and that's only because the current output and things like that. Again, it could be Hell Loose's code that is fucking them up. We have no idea because communication's so poor. So maybe I could love to be proven wrong, and maybe it's just the fact that the spaghetti code limits them on so much, and if they move to Unreal 5, all of a sudden it's a great game.
All the people in current Hell Loose production are full time. Yeah.
Yes.
That's
expression.
Expression.
I can neither confirm nor deny what I just said in chat.
Oh, there's like 20 people work. Yeah, I have no idea how much people work on.
I don't know if that's what.
I don't know. I personally don't know. I have no idea. But I know there was like 20 people with Black Matter. I think Black Matter had like 20 people.
It's very similar numbers. It's very similar numbers.
I have no idea.
For expression to Black Matter.
I feel like it feels like 5. Like
it's awful.
That's how it feels to me. But I think Hell Loose 2 incorporate every single old map. You don't have to have them at launch. I don't think that matters. Maybe you have one, like maybe you have Carentan at launch, just redone an Unreal 5 engine. Battle of Berlin, absolutely. Like maybe
There's
you have
so
a
many
like
things they could do.
there's other maps you could easily have, but like primarily European focused. Then you have Pacific. The focus of it is large scale games, destruction, Unreal 5 engine, no more LODs, only nanite, and then you also add more dynamic vehicles and shit like that.
Yeah. It's a lot they could do. I'm only pessimistic just because this year's been terrible and it's the same story every time an update or patch comes out. Fixes one thing, breaks several other things, and it's just we spend months fixing those things. It's such a terrible cycle for Hell Let Loose right now, and it's crazy that we've been doing this for so long. It's frankly very disrespectful for the people that spend money on this game, in my opinion, and they deserve better, especially when the price tag is $50 now.
I think
Um,
console is just insane. Like the fact that it's been on console for however many years now, and Xbox still is constantly crashing. You're paying for a broken game. The game
Honestly,
doesn't function.
yeah, I know a lot of people play
That's
this game on
insane.
console. It should have never been brought to console.
No,
It really shouldn't.
and
And
I
I
don't think
know
it's a
that.
Team 17 issue.
No,
Like,
no, 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 no.
but
I don't remember whose call that was. It was Black Matter, Team 17, whatever. It's like it is what it is. We're here and we have to deal with it. But I don't think this game should have ever been brought to console. It's caused so many issues for console players. PC players have had several issues because of it. But I don't. It's made the development of this game significantly slower and worse.
yeah,
Ever since that happened. And I don't think that's, I'm not saying like people on console don't deserve this game. I just don't think the capabilities of the developers or Team
so
17
much.
were there forever to be successful.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, I will say, despite everything, I know they made a ton of money, like on console. Like, so
Just as many
financial
people
wise,
play on console as they do
hmm
on PC. I'll let that sink in.
I would, I,
Um,
I would almost argue, like it rivals pretty close, if not more. Like there
concurrent
are
user concurrent users what I'm talking about.
so many people that play on
There's
console.
usually like 7 to 9,000 people on console a night,
Yeah,
and
that's
that's about where
insane.
PC is.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hope. Again, I pray for the future of Hallelujah to be bright, but it's just like every
Not looking
day.
great.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's because it's not even gonna be a quick fix. So, like, if they come out, I mean, it's gonna be back to like, remember how excited everyone was when they're gonna be like, we're gonna do the 6 years of a war, a war and
Yeah,
different things every year, and then a month later we got like the trailer and Sprint Gate and
I
shit.
still don't know how that trailer happened. Like
I don't
that
know. So there's been so many things that like they could say something, but they never do it.
ever,
So
ever. Like
yeah,
it's
it's gonna be they really, really have to actually nail it. They could come out and be like, "Guys, we hear you. Like January is gonna be like Battle Berlin, tank rework, blah, blah." I would sit here and be like, "I don't fucking believe it until I get hands on."
no
Like,
same,
yeah,
same,
the
absolutely.
trust is gone.
Yeah, it's like I just feel like every single time it's always like half baked. Every time there's something that comes out, and then when it does come out, it's broken as shit. Like
Yeah,
it's so bad. Like what? I think twice they've had the revert patches. Like it's crazy,
yeah.
crazy. I don't know. I
We
mean,
should probably wrap this up. We're going
yeah,
on really
I know.
long
We're
here.
just venting at this point. Yeah, we
Yeah.
like Fresh pinged me or texted me. And he's like, yeah, we gotta just go on a vent. We just gotta get all this out. I was like, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I know it's what people want to hear. It's because it's like we are pretty positive people in the content and stuff, and
yeah,
I think it's refreshing to hear that we feel the same way. And we're not secret about this. Like, we have channels to developers, and I'll let you guys know right now. It's not like we're sitting there like sucking teats and jerking people off behind the scenes. It's very much the same fucking attitude that we have right now going into there.
yeah.
So,
I mean,
it,
literally that chat we have is just all of us pissed off constantly at this point.
yeah, it's pretty
I think
bad.
me, you, Alpine, Soul
Yeah.
Sniper,
Like
we're all
it's a
pretty
joke.
grump.
Yeah, not even mention
But
the whole shit that happened with Terry. It's like
oh
it's all
yeah,
fucked.
you
Yeah, I
didn't
don't want to
know.
get into that.
I mean, watch his newest video, but I just don't think there's been anything like outside of what everyone else knows that's been
Nope.
discussed. Like especially with Elsenborn Ridge, I think that's like everyone
I
knows
wish I could
everything.
tell people. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna get into it. I don't know what we're allowed to say and not to say.
Yeah. But good catch. But yeah, so the Elzenborn, I mean, like, again, you've seen pictures of it. I will say, like, I am excited for the dynamic weather though, but I will tell you what.
Careful.
No, yeah. The dynamic weather, if it's not to the same quality of Bushwick's team,
Oh yeah.
a Chapter Mercury, if you haven't tried that, they're coming out with
With a few people in a mod.
crazy Chapter
Yeah.
Red on Squad 44. It's a mod you can download. They're about to release it. I think there was an issue, but dynamic weather. They have full dynamic lighting, like dynamic time of day and dynamic weather, and it is one of the best weather I think I've ever seen, aside from like Battlefield 5. I think Battlefield 5 had some really good
I
weather
don't know
as well.
how you could have better dynamic weather, honestly. It's that good.
It's so good.
So if it's not up to that level, fucking scrap it. Like,
Yeah.
don't do it.
100%.
Like,
Like-
I hope that it's just as good as that, but we'll see.
And dynamic tank skins as well. Like, why
Yeah.
we don't have tigers that are whitewashed? I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah,
But
I'd quit for Squad 44. Squad 44 is better, but that game has its own issues, unfortunately.
Squad 44 is making a comeback. I do like the 100 player change. The 100 player change I think is amazing.
Yes. Very much.
But yeah, if weather's just there as like Battlefield 2042 has like their little tornadoes and stuff, you do it once and you're like, all right, I'm over it.
Whatever.
Yeah. If it's like that, fuck it. I guess last thing, I think notable mention. Sorry, I know I'm keep elongating it. Notable mention: Black Matter, aka Good Fun Corp, has also just announced their brand new game called Hunger. It is a
completely
horror
different kind of game.
Yeah, totally different. But it's a horror extraction shooter, set in like, I don't know, like 1600s, 1700s Europe. The map literally looks like it's the entire Europe, like all of Europe. I don't know if it's actually to that scale. I doubt it, but the map is literally a replica of Europe, and it has some sort of like zombie-esque infection.
It's a
Unreal
PvP
5
versus extraction game.
Looks pretty good, I will say. Like, if you haven't checked it out, highly recommend checking out the trailer. I think it looks interesting. Definitely something I'm going to check out. So, like, we're not getting paid for it, but I will tell you, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's worth noting that it's out there, but we don't know shit about it yet.
Cool. All right, guys. We're playing after this, right? We're playing?
Yeah. I think
Let's
I can get around in.
Awesome. All right, we'll get around in. We'll be right back after this short break. We'll play some words on stream in just a second here. Thanks so much.